In this video, we are going to talk about 3 reasons why you keep attracting the same kind of partners. I am Pauline and I am so happy you are here because maybe you've noticed that you have these patterns. You keep attracting the same kind of relationship but just with different people, and you keep attracting the same kind of person with the same characteristics even though you really thought this was going to be different this time. And for fearful avoidance, this can be such a frustrating dynamic because usually a fearful avoidant who hasn't healed keeps finding themselves in kind of toxic relationships. And this is so logical, and there is a way out. I want you to know that. So we're going to talk about that too. But first, I just wanted to talk about the reasons why this is happening so that you understand yourself better and you're not beating yourself up for it, because that's really not necessary. It really is logical coming where you're coming from. So the first reason why you keep attracting the same kind of partners, or why you find yourself being attracted to the same kind of people, is because that's just what's familiar. It just seems and feels to your body and your nervous system, it kind of feels like home in a way. And even if that means that the dynamic is not very healthy, that doesn't really matter to the familiarity of the situation. So it's what you know. You know the dynamics, you know the feelings, and because of that, in a way, that feels safe. And the reason why that is because it feels like this is what you're trained for. This sounds weird, right? But as a fearful avoidant child, you were probably trained to have certain relationship dynamics with a parent, with a fearful avoidant parent. And for me, for instance, that meant that I was just so used to working for approval and to proving and persuading my parents to take me seriously and to really see me and see my needs. And so that was just what I knew to do. That was all I knew. And so that kind of felt familiar and felt like home. And it really is true that the relationship you have with your parents is the first example of love that you have, because you love them. And you think, well, then this is probably what love looks like. And that, it kind of just breaks my heart talking about it, because it's so has nothing to do with you. And I know as a child you kind of internalize that, like, oh, this is probably what I'm worthy of because this is what I'm getting from my parents. And that's not true. You have always been worthy of unconditional love. So this is what you know. Like I knew that I had to work for approval. I had to always fight to get heard and to be taken seriously. That's just what was in my system. That was the dynamic I knew. And so that's what I was kind of looking for. That felt familiar, that felt like home, and that felt like love for a long, long time. And so whenever a guy would not really take me seriously or be interested in me, it was like this switch went on, and I was like, oh, this is what I know. And then I knew what to do. And I think especially a fearful avoidant, you are in survival mode so much of the time that you don't really have the space to see new things, try out new things. You are just trying to survive, and sometimes also in relationships. So in a way, it feels easier to have a relationship that you're trained for. I know this sounds so weird, trained for, right? It's not like your parents do that consciously, but that's just what happened again and again. And that repetition trained your body, trained your behaviors, trained your thoughts to kind of know what to do in these situations. So I had the idea that I could persuade somebody to love me, essentially, and that I could be perfect enough to gain approval. And so that is just what I did. I thought that was what I was supposed to do because that's all I knew. And I want you to know that that is one of the bigger, more important reasons why you keep finding yourself in the same pattern, because you just know what to do. And it takes a lot to take a step back and to kind of see like, oh, wait, this is not the relationship I want. Because as a fearful avoidant, this usually means that you find yourself in unhealthy and sometimes straight up toxic situations and relationships. And that's very frustrating if you keep finding yourself in that same situation. But that is what your body knows. That is what your nervous system knows. And when you heal, you will notice that that becomes less and less. You will get less attracted to those kinds of people, and it's less chance that you're kind of a flip is switched. Am I saying that right? And you start to find yourself in that same dynamic. Like when I would meet an emotional unavailable man, that would be like, oh, I know this, I know what to do. And then I would have these feelings that I would confuse with love. And you will find that you will have that less and less and less. So that's the first reason. The second reason is that it can't be easy. A lot of fearful avoidants have this belief that it can't be easy. It's not supposed to be easy, or it's not allowed. I'm not allowed to have it easy. So when you meet somebody that gives you unconditional love, that just gives you love without you having to work for it or prove yourself for it, that's like, wait, this isn't right. It's not allowed to be easy. It's not supposed to be easy. I'm supposed to work for it. That's what I'm worthy of. I'm not worthy of just receiving it. And of course, that's not what you think. That's not the conscious thought that then happens. But that's what happens subconsciously, that you just have this feeling that you have to fight for it and you have to work for it. And so that when someone gives you that love out of nowhere, you kind of feel like, wait, you're either you don't mean this feels too good to be true. Sometimes it's that. Or you kind of lose respect for that other person because they don't truly see who you are, or they just don't get it. You kind of find them dumb because they're obviously wrong. You're not supposed to get love just like this. I know I had that when I met my husband, and he just gave me love. He just loved me. I thought he was wrong. Because I was just so not used to it. I was so used to working for love and proving my worth. So allowing yourself to have it be easy, this will come back in so many different areas of your life. Once you start healing this, you will notice that there are so many things that you don't allow yourself to be easy, and that you feel like you have to work really hard for, sacrifice for, fight for, struggle for. And when you heal and start noticing that, that becomes so much less of a need, and you're just allowing the good things to come to you and the relationship to just be beautiful, that just saves up so much, or frees up so much energy. And then the third reason is if you're just used to a certain kind of relationship, a certain kind of dynamic, then anything different from that will feel uncomfortable, unknown, and therefore scary. So here we come back to the safe and not safe thing. At first glance, it seems like safe is a healthy, stable relationship. But when you're totally not used to that, you're totally not used to that dynamic, you have no idea what to do. You have no idea how to receive that. You have no idea what that partner expects from you. You have no control. And that feels very unsafe to you because you want that control. You want to know what to do and know what the outcome is going to be. And so therefore, that dynamic that feels familiar, which might be that push and pull, the highs and lows, the working and fighting for approval or fighting to be heard, that feels safe in a way, because part of you thinks, well, I know, at least I know what to do, and I know how to get this and how to change that, even though that just takes so much time, energy, and it's not necessary. So safe and not safe are not black and white concepts. They are not as clear cut as they seem for a fearful avoidant, because what seems safe for a lot of other people can feel very uncomfortable and unknown, and therefore unsafe for a fearful avoidant. And then what feels unsafe for other people, like the dynamics of a fearful avoidant relationships, the highs and lows, can feel safe for a fearful avoidant because you know them, you know what to do, and it feels familiar. So how do you break this cycle? Well, obviously, if you heal the fearful avoidant attachment style at the roots, this will be so much easier. It will be so much easier, and you will notice it in so many different areas in your life. So healing the fearful avoidant attachment style is hands down the easiest way to break this pattern. If you really want that, check out the link in the description below to my online program, Healed and Happy, where we really go to the roots to break this, because I just so wish for you to have a pattern where you're attracted to people who are good for you, who are good to you, who will love you like you have always deserved, who give you unconditional love, and for you to really allow yourself to receive it without working for it. So that is number one. Healing the fearful avoidant attachment style will break this pattern for sure. But what is interesting is you can start with noticing other kinds of people. So as a fearful avoidant, you're probably focused on feelings a lot. If you feel intense feelings towards somebody, then you feel like this is true love, or this is the one. And you probably, when you're not healed, want to kind of see if there are people who are interested in you that you find boring or uninteresting, and that give you a certain kind of tension in your body. And I am not saying go for it and just have a relationship, because that can come from a million different things, that tension, and I don't ever want you to completely go against your feelings and just force yourself into a relationship. But if you're open to somebody that you may find boring right now and uninteresting, it could be, I'm not saying it is, but it could be that that is actually quite a healthy partner or a healthy relationship, because your nervous system is so used to these ups and downs and the adrenaline rush and the push and pull that any healthy and stable relationship will feel boring in the beginning. And as you heal more and more, that will fall away and it won't feel boring anymore. But in the beginning, it might feel boring for a little bit. So these were the 3 reasons. This is how to break through this pattern. I really hope this was valuable. Let me know in the comments below if it was. And as always, I'm so happy you are here, and I will see you in the next one.